Right then, welcome to Ninjas in Pajamas versus LDLC. Mirage is the start for this game. Get right rocking a flip knife. I bought one of those recently. NIP will be starting on the CT side. Get right with the smoke grenade and defuse kit. No P250s for the Ts. Armanek and Twanu will be rocking the grenades though. Jumping, flying out of the apartments, trying to avoid getting headshot. You can see lots of jumping going on, but Rez will eventually get a kill on Logan. The USP helping out there. 3 NIP players remain.
Bomb goes down, so that is a good start here for LDLC. Even though they will lose one more player, they've got the defensive positions on the side to work with. Dennis getting pressured quite heavily there. 2 versus 1 for him. It's taking a while, but eventually he will be lost as well for NIP as they start to take control of the site. Just pressuring that bomb. Amanek just toying with them. And he has a support there, Devaduvek in the back. Now the 1v1 ensues. And is there time here for the bomb? I don't think there's a kit anywhere. For them has to win the fight quickly and get to the defuse. There's the kit actually on the ground. And he'll make it just in the nick of time.
Nice. Well, that's the first round in the bag for Ninjas in Pajamas. They are still in with a position to qualify for LAN, so that's what they're trying to do at the moment. It would be nice to see them. I think they've missed a few too many lands. I think they, I forget which ESL event it was, which they won last year, but didn't get an invite to this year, if I recall. So definitely, I think it is as we said before, I think this is a team where their potential is higher than what they're achieving at the moment. And I think they will get there eventually. Lekro taken out by an early AK. 3 AKs out for LDLC. We haven't even mentioned that. They've gone for a force buy after planting the bomb, which is not what you normally see. Although in this new meta, maybe we haven't had so many chances to necessarily see it. They could break the economy of Ninjas in Pajamas immediately, put them on minimum loss bonus. That would suck.
I really like it though. I think there is a lot of ways to get into open spaces, and if you can just do that, then you're going to be in a really good spot to use those AKs effectively. And Get Right will be taken down by Pit. It was quite a cool, sneaky position playing forwards with the MP9 like that. You don't often see it, but here it is. This is the problem now. The AKs in the open spaces. Rez doing a great job there with that M4 initially. Has Dennis for support, but the AKs will reign supreme, leaving just Forrest with an MP7. And he doesn't look like he's all that interested in this one, but we'll see if he can do some damage with that MP7. It is pretty darn effective. It's looking pretty sexy as well with the stickers there. Perhaps AK-47 can be picked up maybe from Forrest, but at this point down to 18 HP looks unlikely as he backs away. Yeah, so LDLC will use that force buy and smash NIP's economy.
I think with that kind of force buy, I don't know if it's reasonable to say, well, they had 2 deagles, right? So I can't say they're heavily favored, but I would favor the AK buy most of the time versus the force buy weapons, if you will, that you'll expect for the most part from Ninjas in Pajamas.
It's all about how you use it, isn't it? Because they have not too much utility, so they've got to try to get into they have to get in position quickly. I think if they spend loads of time messing around trying to go for picks, you feel like that decreases their chances. But they just got straight in there, which is effective. And now NIP doing the same, but they don't have the AKs. They've got much worse than that.
I love Armanek's power pose, man. Honestly, it's got such a stern face. I just see it in like some generic corporate website, CEO or like the chief finance officer or something. Forrest moving around on the B bomb side. He's got 4 players coming his way. 1 will be taken out at the very least. Dennis running low on bullets, but still getting a kill. Looking for a second, but he won't be able to do that. Twanu has been quite maimed, and maybe Rez can follow up with this scout of his if he can find him. All 3 players on the site for LDLC. Get Right going for a shot towards bench, but Devaduvek will come out on top of that. Send Rez into the fridge, and that is LDLC surviving with 3 AKs as well. All good in the hood.
Yeah, LDLC have been really amazing to watch of late. Definitely one of the more exciting teams because we're still learning about them. But one thing that we've already learned is that individually they're amazing. And we always see exciting plays. They have a lot of flair. Alex is a player that's often just getting behind his opposition. And he's also the player calling for LDLC as well. And I feel like Mirage is definitely a map that suits their playstyle enormously, just due to the fact that they really love to be aggressive on these T sides. You know, we've already seen it with the Force buys. They have really good flanks. They're great at setting up these mid-round situations where they will go for a split on one of the bomb sites. Just generally a really fun team right now to watch, and I can't wait to see how far they can go.
That's an explosion of flashbangs just in case. And that's good team play because Armanek on the site. It's hard to avoid a flashbang on Mirage on the B bomb site, but he manages to avoid all the flashes of his teammates. So well put together, execute from LDLC. And again, I think they're a team who coming into lands and so on with fresh ideas, fresh players in the likes of Armanek and Devaduvek. And that's bringing something new and refreshing to the scene. And it's something for the rest of the French scene to look at as well. Obviously, Vitality not receiving the results they have been looking for just yet, and G2 seem to be in turmoil at the moment, and I don't think many people had faith in that particular roster to begin with, but LDLC, I think for sure, are the best team in France at the moment, and the question for the time being is A, can they avoid being poached by the other teams when their team has the best potential, and B, how far can they go?
I think for me, they remind me a little bit of Cloud9. You know, when Cloud9 were doing very well right before they split up after the major, and it's partly just due to this play style where they like to be aggressive. They've got a good mixture of roles. They're pretty fast paced, and they don't do anything too complicated. They stick with the basics, and it works really effectively for them. And Devaduvek, you see he's just trying to harass towards the A bomb site, just trying to use grenades to just keep rotation towards that A side of the map as the push comes in towards B. And it's worked out fairly well, actually. There is a timing here that they can make this work, but Lekro will take down the first player they'll line up. And Logan's going to be able to get the trades going his way. Very important kill into Forest that will enable the bomb to go down. 2 versus 2 after plant on the B site as the rotation comes in, but Alex still doing work.
1v2 for Get Right, both players tagged. Difficult to come out of the market position, but do they know where he is? He's got a frag in this round already. You can see him just quickly poking out. That smoke might even help him get out of the market position. No kit, maybe there's one on the side. Again, so difficult, just quietly poking, trying to avoid trade frag situations as much as possible. But it's a two-man van play where only one person peeks out. So if he was to go down, the other person wouldn't try and trade immediately in most cases because the last place you expect the second guy to be is in that very same spot. And indeed, there will maybe be an exit frag, but that's about it. Get Right will survive. He'll make everybody else die. No round win. 4-1 for LDLC. They would be terribly concerned with those deaths at the end because they've got plenty of money, and NIP are more or less on an eco.
Yeah, that money building up is really scary to deal with. And you know, they're so thoroughly in the driving seat at the moment, and you want to see perhaps more AWPs come into the hands of NIP, but the style of play that LDLC are going with as well is quite good at dealing with the AWPs. They're not playing too slow, they're generally playing quite fast paces, so they get positions quickly, and if you can do that, it gives the AWPs less chance to have good engagements when you play those faster rounds with smokes. So LDLC generally with a good effective style of play, of attack on the Mirage so far on the T side. See Armanek just creeping his way further forward on the catwalk position. We'll get a B split coming out here on LDLC's side. Cool to see that Armanek goes for the MAC-10 instead of just filling out with an AK, even though he could.
That's good awareness of your opponent's situation. Again, the flashes. Forest by default looks, but he can't really get anything done because the flashes are on point. Armanek running wide. Moving accuracy is good enough with the MAC-10. Being a running target is a problem. In the meantime, Get Right and Rez have picked up some kills, and maybe Rez can collect a weapon on short. Should he be fortunate enough. Not a situation where LDLC may necessarily want to protect this too much, but whoever that is on short, Devaduvek will see the gun disappear, waiting for it. But Rez is further away from the corner, so he has a slight advantage in the duel. And that's the second AK collected for Ninjas in Pyjamas to try and turn things around later on. But we are heading towards 5-1 for LDLC, and NIP will be at max loss bonus. Again, they kept the money together. They did spend some on that, but there's plenty of money to come.
Yeah, it's really cool seeing, as you highlighted, sort of the difference in advantage on Rez's engagement as he backed away, moving further away from the angle or from the wall. And I'm starting to think more and more in terms of the positions I take when I'm playing Counter-Strike. in terms of that, the geometric advantage. And I can't really go into it too much, but I had a big conversation on my podcast yesterday with the main developer of 16.0, and the kind of analytics, the greatest analytics tool we have in Counter-Strike at the moment. It's still in development, but I'll go back to that point a bit later, as we do have an A push. It's being set up now by LDLC. Some nades there in mid, some harassment in mid, trying to make it look like a normal round, but in fact, of course, those pins are about to be pulled and those nades are about to be thrown straight into the A bomb site, and it is a retake setup from LIP, so this could be a close one.
In come the grenades. Get right going ahead of the smoke. Now, how many kills will he be good for in this position? It is an off angle. Catching players moving to the site. Got to be careful of a peek from Palace, although it is less likely that they come out, but he's got to be looking for it. Great angle from Get Right. Second frag, a third frag from Get Right. A fourth one, instant pre-fire from him. Oh, the ace is stolen by Dennis, but what a fantastic play by Get Right.
It's so awesome, he didn't have to move. Didn't move muscle, just standing still, just like shooting bots. This looked a little bit awkward, but after that you can still see that he wasn't phased whatsoever, and it turned into a very lovely 4K, and no one could really deal with him in this position. And so simple, but so effective, and that gets NIP back on the board. 2 rounds for them now as they look to try to break the economy of LDLC, which has actually been whittled away, and we might get a faster round here from LDLC, looking to go from middle, but Rez is there with the AWP. A very, very capable sniper is Rez. Although we know him for his rifle play, as I say that, of course, he'll miss his first shot, but backing away now. And LDLC still working on this mid-control, LIP looking like they are still happy to perhaps contest it.
Smoke towards the Jungle. Jungle smoke, if you were Swedish. I mean connector, of course. I knew it was connector. I don't know why I said jungle. It's too early.
Because you just wanted to say Jungle, that's why.
Yeah, I think I wanted to say Jungle. I throw that smoke every day, so I know which one it is. Get Right. Will he hold? Oh, you gotta love the angles from Get Right. That's why plenty of places are referred to as Get Right. Even where he was standing in the previous round, the right-hand side by the big brown doors is another off angle, which is referred to as Get Right. But he will not be successful on this occasion. Now, what can LDLC do with this? They've got 3 of their 4 players towards B, now make it 2 because Lekro has done damage. He continues to do more. That leaves Twanu and Dev Duvek as the last 2 players for LDLC. 3 HP for Dev, and he will be presumably the last man to fall. 1 versus 4 for him. Perhaps a question of damage. That's a good start. Not expecting the second player to be so close. And 3 players will survive for Ninjas in Pyjamas.
Yeah, so now we've seen Get Right anchoring A really well, Lekro anchoring B very well. It's a very nice flick. You can see that initially he was convinced that no one had cross, but still his ability to react was good enough to do the damage to keep himself alive and save the bomb site from even any threats, to be honest, as they were unable to make it through. And now the eco finally from LDLC. Their money was very good for a long time. But after that round from Get Right, where he just beasted everyone, start to do some real work in crippling it, and here we go. Finally, they get to perhaps have somewhat of a free round, as there's not too much to speak of here for LDLC. And NIP straight back on the board, and that's really good because I was fearful for them that LDLC were really getting some very strong momentum. Oh, hello. Alex, he's picked up an AK. Devaduvek gets a kill onto Rez with the Deagles. 3 quick kills, surely not.
Oh, God, what has happened here? How did he get there? 2 versus 3. They have no Kevlar, LDLC. That could be a saving grace. Forrest has a Molotov, so LDLC better not be in that firebox position. But the AWP will be a master play now. Forrest missing the jump. 1 versus 3. This is... Yeah, I feel you, Forrest. What has happened here? This is supposed to be the comeback. But apparently not. LDLC stealing around away, it would seem. Too late for Forrest to go for a defuse. I think he is simply trying to eliminate as many people as possible because every weapon they save is bonus money, plenty of bonus money for the T side. But it seems they will save 2 weapons in this surprise round from LDLC.
Yeah, this was very surprising. I was calling it a free one, then all of a sudden 2 quick kills out of nowhere, one with a Glock, just catching somebody by surprise. Don't often really expect it to go that way, especially in a professional match, but it will be the full buy from NIP. They'll have to spend almost everything. And so this has become a very, very big, a very important sort of swing round as far as momentum is concerned. And we'll have to see if LDLC can break NIP once again. Oh, very good flashes there. Alex quickly up. He will be traded out by Connector. That smoke not quite doing the job of blocking vision for Dennis. So it will be a 4 versus 4. But LDLC still in the driving seat. Definitely 4v4 will favor the T side this early on. And we'll see them set up for A now.
Three players very close. Rez gets punctured immediately though, just off on his timing, and that's surely the round. Unless Dennis can get multi-frags. That's a good start. Deviduvek taken down towards triple. The bomb is being planted at the moment, but I think Twino had to come off it to take out Dennis. And that leaves Lecro towards the B bomb site, looking through the corner of the smoke on shorts. Less than ideal situation. Very fast moving around on the A bomb site. And once again, LDLC are looking pretty damn good. But I don't think the next buy is too far away for Ninjas in Pyjamas, so perhaps they can have enough opportunity to stop this first half from getting out of control, which is where it seems to be headed.
Yeah, Lecro really needs to save this AWP though. If he does, they can actually try to buy next round if they want to. I mean, well, they can't. They just can't actually. Ignore me. I don't think there's really a world where it works. Lecro would have to have some more money for a drop. If he did, then maybe there's a chance to get something going. As Forrest could just about buy for himself, but are they going for the half buy or the full buy? They're actually going for the full buy here, so I guess I had misread the money there. They've managed to scrounge enough together. Obviously lacking here and there, but obviously with the AWP it doesn't really look that bad. And Lecro will try to take control straight away. Try to cover there for his teammate Forrest as he pushes very quickly down top mid. That's something of a very characteristic move for Forrest. We've seen him do that very, very often. Loves pushing catwalk on the CT side. And already get right's lost. And you can see LDLC, they have a protocol. Whenever they get this 4v4 or 5 versus 4, you can see they then immediately go and rotate back to attack a bomb site. And here it is again. It's going to be A.
Does he hear this rotation, however? I think that he might from that position. But once again, it's Rez and Lecro towards the A bomb site. Nice start from Lecro, but he's got to fall back. Molotov will mean the same towards CT as well. Rez holding angles towards default. Spots Alex through the flames, gets his reload in. Armanex close, but he can't do anything to trade this kill. Rez has many corners to work with. Smoke is down, but there's a gap in the smoke. But a bomb's already been planted.
Tense stuff here now. Waiting for those smokes to dissipate before they can go for the push. NIP are being patient. LDLC down a man. Nice catch by Amanek as the smoke dissipates. Ooh. And everyone goes down. Deviduvek and Amanek. Deadly combo. Very well done.
See, he means business. Not just a photo. Look at this 180, more or less.
Wow.
Not bad at all. 8-3, and they've put NIP's economy in the bin once again, so indeed it is looking like more of a landslide. DOD avalanche for the older guys here. The guys and gals. I had a woman on my DOD team.
Nice.
Pop flash. Alex is very blind. Won't be venturing into connector just yet. He would be exposed to anybody by 12 booth, but again, it is an eco, so you're not expecting to get shot by an AWP on 12 booth.
Are you sure it was a woman, James, or was it just like a profile picture, or?
No, it was definitely a lady.
Okay.
Confirmed lady.
Confirmation achieved.
Yeah.
You never know on the internet, especially back then.
No, she was a fine woman. Found it very amused when I fragged somebody with the butt of my gun. Of course, I was, you know, that was my equivalent to my knife kills back then.
Uh-oh.
Rez has dropped a bomb. He's looking to drop some players as well. The good news for LDLC is that Lecro is no longer alive, because if he had a deagle, who knows what might have happened. But Rez is maybe picking up the slack for Lecro with his second frag, and now there are 30 seconds left, and it's becoming really awkward for LDLC. They're stuck in the choke point, and they're walking into a crossfire, and this is going to go from bad to worse. 23 seconds, 4 versus 2, and it's an AWP to try and trade, and that's just not gone well for them, has it?
Yeah, it's really difficult when you can't break that first choke point and gain ground onto the site. As soon as you get towards default, then it's fine, but you can see the struggle getting there. And that happens sometimes when either you don't have the correct grenades to throw, or there's some indecision, and someone just has to go for it and take a big risk. And you can't, there's like sometimes just no way to do it safely, you just have to guess. But we got both teams now winning a round like that, respectively, so in that sense it's kind of balanced out, but it will be the 8-4 for LDLC. And now we've got another mid challenge coming in for both teams. NIP not looking to really give this up without a fight. Rez is pushed down behind the smoke and connector. That's a nice move to make. Often you see that smoke from the CTs and you're thinking that they're protecting connector from within it, but in reality it was a deep smoke, so that does allow some shenanigans from Rez, although he doesn't get anything from it, but he does get information, if not kills. And LDLC, you can see this time, again, very quick on the response. They didn't get anything out of the mid play, but they're going to go for that B apartments push pretty quickly. They'll lose their lurker in mid, however.
Once again, not the first time they've gone to the B bomb site with big numbers. No, it appears that they have other ideas. 1 minute mark in LDLC. Looks like they were lining up for B, but apparently it's a trap, it's a fake. But how quickly will they get towards the A bomb site if that's what they want? Got Armanek deploying a smoke grenade from top mid, and again, this is proving to be quite laborious in terms of timing. Dennis takes out the player in the window, and I just don't know if LDLC have moved fast enough after those smokes thrown into the B bomb site, because the rotation started to come in from NIP as they were jumping into the window, and they got fragged immediately, and now they're trapped in connector. Again, time is low, and it just doesn't seem to be working out for them.
Yeah, it's been a bit awkward at this point, and I think there's some good ideas in this round, but you can see everything's beginning to fall apart. I think, you know, if they just decide to, instead of trying to boost window, obviously we have perfect information, but what they had done, they achieved what they wanted to at the beginning of the rounds. They draw 3 players towards the B-bomb site, which kind of leaves mid a bit open, which allows them to push through underpass, get into mid, but then instead of sort of just going for, go through connector with maybe a flashbang up catwalk to keep themselves safe from there, or a smoke there, they decide to try to boost after throwing a smoke in window. It gives NIP a lot of time to react, and maybe that was the mistake, but well, you never know. Maybe they'll win this round. We saw them do it before. This time, though, NIP perhaps a bit more on guard, and indeed, Get Right will be doing some damage, although a couple kills will come in. So looks like maybe that will be it.
Armanek last man standing. Rise of the butterfly knives. I think Dennis is using a Damascus steel one. Becoming more popular. Armanek in the smoke. I wonder if that collision will be heard. From close range, you can hear the collision and you know someone's there. That's why, with the grenades that Get Right, for example, throws on the B-bomb site of Cash, I like to bounce the HE off the box, because if you're playing that position on your own, the HE will collide with a player if they're there, so you'll get an audio cue if someone is there, and then you're more prepared for the fight. Which is a handy little tip from me. Last round of the first half, though. Rez will continue with the AUG. LDLC look well prepared for a fast burst into the A-bomb site.
Yeah, nice kill from Get Right, looking to hold things down effectively once again from Ticket. Dennis goes up, Dennis goes down, and another frag from Get Right. He's doing a lot of damage from this position. He's going to try to find the bomb there. Very risky jumping up into the smoke sometimes, but with only 2 players left, it's less likely someone will be looking at that smoke. And oh my god, Twani just trying to charge through, but Get Right's going to catch him, of course, running through the smoke. Now Devoduvic is in a 1 versus 3. Not an ideal spot. He'll take an off angle there towards Ticket, but it's not going to work out for him. Get Right just really solid on A today. 4 kills again for him. We've seen a lot of quad kills so far, and just in this first half alone.
16-4-9 is Get Right. Devoduvic, though, is leading the charge on the scoreboard with 18 kills, but indeed, there have been some very important rounds from Get Right on the A-bomb site for Ninjas in Pyjamas. And that's good for 7 rounds to the 8 of LDLC. A thin lead for them as they move into their CT side. Now we'll look at the buys in the first round.
Was the revolver at? James and I have been really doing very well.
Star
with the revolver
Wars.
on the pistol round.
Yeah, we even got the Bears using it, although I don't want him to use it. He needs to be the balance. So while it is technically a good weapon, it is still foolish to use it. So, because again, a running revolver is almost as accurate as a standing AK-47. Fact. So I think in certain cases you can use it on a T-side of a pistol round. But let's see, LDLC getting torn to pieces by ninjas in pajamas. Alex versus 5. Surely soon to be taken out. Indeed he is. No frags for LDLC in the pistol round. Reds will get a cheap helmet. Everybody else will have to spend $1,000. So he can pick up an AK-47 if he wants one. And Dennis will do the same.
Quickly about the revolver, one of the cool things with it is that when you're in these very long range positions, where the CTs will expect you to have a Glock, they will take the fight against you, and they'll often just stand still. And so that actually makes the revolver in those spots really sick, because you just immediately kill them. And so I found that those spots are actually like really solid for it.
Yeah, I don't mind being an expendable information man and running with a revolver against.
That's a cool setup.
Against lower teammates, lower skilled people.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Who knows how it plays? I think you're more likely to just get popped in the face immediately versus high school people, but
yeah,
we'll see. As we move through the ranks back to where we're supposed to be.
That's so amazing. You had no idea where it's being shot from.
Yeah, it's a plan A and a plan B.
That's so sick.
That's really cool.
Oh my god, that's so sick.
I like the boost we saw from Ninjas in Pajamas behind triple. I think that would be cool with like an auto sniper.
Oh no. Oh!
That's... I can't even imagine how much damage that is with a grenade.
Oh my god, that was brilliant. Oh, this round was... They made this round entertaining. I like that.
Concentrating the efforts. It's good.
That was so much damage. Chunky. Oh. Oh!
Oh my god, 65.
That's gonna be like 250 plus.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll have the buys coming in now for both teams. LDLC on the third round buy, where you can't get all the utility, but you will have M4s, and they're bringing all the M4s to bear. And forced to get helmets too, because of the risk of being up against SMGs. This is what you have to do on the CT side. We get right, pushing the smoke. His little booties will be showing, and Twanu will steal them. He'll kill him and steal his booties. And Amanek dies much the same way. So NIP not having much luck walking through smokes in this round. Hopefully they will not walk through any more smokes. But speaking of walking, we've got a push on the bomb site. Dennis just making his way all the way in towards the angle on connector, taking down Devaduveg. Will be traded out though. And trades are not exactly the best case when you're already down 2 against 4. Oh, that was a big chance for Lecro. You'll find another one though.
2v3 now. Forrest sees a player towards triple, trying to use the objects as much as he can to protect himself, but he can't. No protection for him. 1 HP for Lecro, 1 versus 2. He's got an AK, it's doable, but they know where he is. He doesn't know where they are. Guessing game for them. For him, sorry. So they have so many advantages that if we got one more kill, it would be very surprising. But now as time passes, they wonder, is he in connector? Well, apparently he is. 9 to 9. AWP collected. Now we'll see if LDLC can stabilize on their CT side. Money not very good for Ninjas in Pajamas. So it looked like an eco round for them. Apparently not. They've chosen to force buy it. 2 AKs coming out, the MAC-10, the CZ, the P250, the Glock.
The lettuce. The tomatoes. Logan. How much can he get from this position? He's going to have a lot of company soon. It's going to be the welcoming committee to this bomb side attack. Ow, this is going to snap 2 players down straight away. So much damage. Pulls out the smoke. Oh, what would Guardian do? Keep that gun out. Keep that gun out. Could have been so much more. And now they they'll pick up his AK. They've got, they were able to throw the smoke grenades, of course, so they have cover to get the bomb down. They can still win this round. That said, they don't have someone has to pick up the bomb. They've left it behind, and that could be a big problem because now they're going to frag out. But Forest is doing massive damage. Quick 3K with that AK-47, and it will be clean after that initial entry. And once again, Logan, you know, you get the 2 kills, but gun out, man. You got that position. There's 1, there's 2. It's time to reposition. He hears them running towards him, still pulls out the nade. That's got to be a pretty gutting response from Logan. He's going to realize he could have had so much more there.
Well then. The story continues to go back and forth. Score is pretty close, but the swing of momentum is quite large. LDLC in a horrible situation now. Ninjas in pajamas, not waiting around too long in the middle position. They've got their smoke grenades down. Slowly edging forward, taking more important angles. Big flashbang. Dennis gets around the corner though. 61 HP. He can still win this duel. Logan falling back. Best opportunities may have passed, but he may have forced the T's away, and that is also important, the map control. Funneling them in a different direction. Now Lecro's trying to respond to that by having an aggressive position in connector, and he might just find himself a kill. Logan in the shadow position for now, but who knows if he takes a peek into Palace.
Well, they'll be sadly mistaken with their pit push, but they'll get the information at the very least. Debaduvek, oh, this could be big. He gets the 1v1. Oh, he's so close, he gets the ding. Not the frag though. Amanek, can he do any better with the CZ? He'll be charged by multiple players here. Surely the trade is going to be at hand, and no trade even required there. Twanu with the quick peeks, the quick footwork with that Deagle, looking to try to do some additional damage, but at this point, without any teammates to really trade for him, it's going to be very difficult to get all that much, and indeed, it's just Logan left now with the UMP, and NIP are looking pretty strong, getting some momentum here themselves on this T side. Stringing those rounds together. It's actually been pretty cool because we've been seeing that each, like, there's been a massive round from pretty much every player on NIP's side. Maybe, I think everybody except maybe Rez, but Rez is, you know, he's still just doing a good job. But we've seen lots of, I think we've seen at least a couple quad kills from Get Right.
Yeah.
I think we saw a quad kill from Forest as well. So it's pretty fun to see that they're having so much success. And I have to say, Get Right's been interesting watching him playing, like on that first half, playing A, because I've seen quite a lot of Mirage matches where he's had a hard time playing A. So he's obviously, you know, evolving and improving his A defense. So it'll be interesting to watch his POV on some CT sides of A, as he tends to play close on that A-bomb site. Pick back into this match, and we see LDLC pretty broken.
Yeah, this is these worrying times for LDLC. Given a taste of their own medicine, if you look at how the first half went with all the T dominance, it's only a late resurgence from NIP to make their half competitive. And maybe LDLC will be subject to that, maybe even worse. Quiet journey from Logan. No shadow shown from Dennis. Oh my god, that has... I bet he punches desk. I bet he punches desk. That's got to be so annoying. Yeah. As soon as you... It's so weird. It's like everyone's kind of like ovulating together. They're all on the same wavelength. As soon as he turns, he appears. Oh, it happens so often.
I think back to biology class for you, James. Not sure about the ovulation, but we'll have LDLC looking like they're not going to get too much more out of this. It was really cool to see that Logan had the presence of mind. He understands, okay, it's slow rounds. If they're playing passive, they're probably going to be holding my push. And so you can see that he shot at peaks each particular angle as it needs to be checked. And yeah, here it is, NIP arriving onto that B-bomb site. Bomb will go down, and for LDLC, it looks like they can maybe save. Was the AK disposed of? No, it was not. So Twanu picks it up, and that's a big win for LDLC, able to carry an AK through so long as it survives, and it looks like it likely will.
That's something. Their loss bonus isn't even that great, to be honest. They'll get 2,400. It's not... He might not have all the utility in the world. Let's see, maybe. Maybe sacrifices have to be made, but that AK may be the difference maker as well. So we shall see, like Devaduvek and Alex, namely, not going to have all the money in the world. 4,300. Not spectacular. But we'll see if it's enough. Maybe it encourages them to go for a mid-push or an underpass play. Something like that. Another push on A ramp. See how they're doing on the grenades. Double AWPs for Ninjas in Pyjamas on the T side. Not something you see every day. But when opportunity arises, if you feel so comfortable, then why not?
Ah. See the one-ways there, very sneaky. I need to start using that.
Oh
okay,
my
well, never mind. That was violent, wasn't it?
D_leeted.
Very violent from Rez. Not just headshotting him, but making it look like an absolute savage job.
He erased him. There's no record of him on the map.
Now it's a quick 5 versus 4. NIP already an advantage. LDLC finally with a buy again. It's not as if... Well, one thing that I find interesting here is that once you get to this point, you've got that pick. That's kind of one of the reasons why you want those double AWPs is, okay, we felt like with 2 AWPs we're probably going to guarantee ourselves a pick. But it was actually Rez to find it with the AK. But now what do? You got these 2 AWPs. They're not very mobile. Mobile? Am I American? Mobile. And PT-50 and CZ, I guess they could run around with those if they want to move quickly. But you can see it slows down here. 40 seconds left, and they've yet to capitalize on this 5 versus 4. And now before they can have a chance to do so, the proactive play from LDLC has now made a 4 versus 4, and they've got more information on the map. And you can see they've got 2 players ready for this B push. Maybe NIP have missed their window.
Are they going to boost underneath this? Probably not the opportune moment to do so. Devaduvek slowly creeping around. Now the grenades have been deployed to this position. He will feel more confident standing there. Dennis trying to make a play in the meantime. That's a good situation to try, but it ends up being a 3 versus 2 for Ninjas in Pyjamas with possession of the B bomb site. They've got a player on the high ground already in apartments, which is always important post-plant. Maybe Lecro just saw a whisper of a gun there. Now, are they really going to go for this? Logan's going toward, Twiny's going away. I think when you're about to execute into the B bomb site, you can look to cut off the rotation if you have the player towards A, or you can look to make a play and basically die to try and pull rotation or weaken the retake or cancel it by doing something. So that's why Dennis walked out of Palace. His play didn't work, but the overall one does. And there's NIP making it to 13 rounds now. 13-9 over LDLC, who have had basically no success in this half.
Yeah, basically that's really the gist of it, and it's been surprising. I was worried for NIP there that they sort of missed their window of opportune timing that they created for themselves after getting a 5 versus 4, but it does all work out in the end, and they keep the double AWPs, and this is not something you ever really see on the T side. So I'm curious if it's something that they just throw in from time to time, and if it just works, they just keep doing it until it doesn't work anymore, until the other team adapts. But you know, with the double AWPs of LDLC, it's going to be interesting. And Amaneki is going to be able to take down Get Right. So he's pushed to B-apps with the AWP, finds a nice forward angle, and that'll be Get Right downs. And now that's a walkout from Dennis, also caught. So 2 lurk plays just gone. Now you've got 3 players left, 2 of which with AWPs. Again, we're not seeing these AWPs getting to work too early in the round. That's the first frag now, and there's the trade.
2 NIP players left. And again, there is value in doing damage even if you are to lose the round in a situation such as this. LDLC, even though they've had not much success, they're not far behind. It's a big frag from Rez, and all of a sudden this is 2 versus 2, and he's got position on Devaduvek trying to rotate in, and what is happening once again? Armanek finds himself alone on the A site versus NIP. All his teammates have been fragged. Now, as you can see, Forrest respecting the CT position. Rez not picking just yet. Forrest with a flying shot. Obviously, after he lands, he takes a shot. And, I mean, if you can't win that round, LDLC, I don't know what hope there is in this match.
It's so weird too because NIP have just been rocking the double ops, and it just seems so uncharacteristic. So now they finally drop one, which is I'm glad to see that. I think the two ops just always looks awkward on Mirage T's side, but Forest will continue with his, and here comes an aggression in mid. Oh my god, the nade damage onto Twanu, down to 11 HP straight away. Couldn't get his peek in, and because of that, he can't get the AWP working on the mid area, and his teammate dies with no support. Twanu, though, looking to recover the situation, picks up the kill as Rez pushes Palace. Rez thinking there would be a window of opportunity, which there was, but Twanu quick to deal with that, but there's the trade. Now 4 versus 2, and indeed, NIP about to move on to match point, and things are looking quite grim here for LDLC. They started out so well.
Looking like the end of the road for LDLC. I don't know what they're going to be left with in the next round. They did go for the full buy here. They are at max loss bonus, so they'll still have a reasonable buy, all things considered, but I mean, it will be worse than this one, and they didn't get very much mileage out of this. So what can you expect from the next? The French guns will be coming out. A fitting end, perhaps, if this is to be the end, but again, this is another situation where it's so tough for them, because I wouldn't be surprised if NIP just set up for a super slow round and just held position, because you know that LDLC are likely to try and make a play in a round such as this, because that's pretty much any advantage they can get. However, on this occasion, NIP will be quickly out of mid with 3 people at the top behind the boxes. And they said it's holding things down on the A ramp for a time. He'll be traded by Twanu. And let's see what the rest of his team will do.
Yeah, quick push up catwalk. Alex just playing just under the smoke there and get some damage in, but no kills as the NIP side can still push forwards. But look at that. Speaking of pushing forwards, Devaduvek will do so towards the B apartments. He's going to cut off the bomber. If he can get this kill, maybe there's a chance to win the round. You can see that. Oh, he goes for the repeat, does Forest with the AWP, and now the bomber's been lost. Now, that's interesting. That's one of those spots where if you fall back with the bomb, your team is in great positions for you still to attack A. However, Forest takes that fight, and in doing so, if he gets the kill, life is still hard, but at least, you know, you've gotten a kill and you move the bomb forwards. But we can see that LDLC are all over this bomb now. This should be 0 chance to win the round at this point. Recovering that bomb is going to be nigh on impossible. So I think, obviously, it's going to be one of those decisions you make in the moment. You want to repeat, get the kill. But if he had fallen back with the bomb there, you're getting a lot more opportunities to win the rounds. And unfortunately for NIP, they're just down to Rez here. But they've got so many more chances. And maybe Rez can get some kills here, just make this more expensive at the very least. 25 seconds.
Oh no!
Oh, it's just so strong, isn't he? Great aim. Looking to do as much as he can. 15 seconds, let's get some frags. It's another HE tossed forwards. Needs to get a reload, 5 bullets left.
They could run away at this point. They no longer need to engage, and they cannot necessarily afford to. But Armanek is confident in his abilities, and he will deliver the kill. Plenty of money for Ninjas in Pyjamas. The same cannot be said for LDLC. However, they will still manage to squeeze out another AWP dropped by Devaduvek. He will have no grenades, but maybe the sniper rifles can make up for that. A UMP on Logan. Focusing on the big guns, French side. Oh, it seems NIP have an execute towards the B bomb site. Rez shows a bit too much in mid. And there's an early frag for LDLC.
That was a really nice kill from Twanu. As you say, Rez showed very little. Amanek will get one as well on the NLP side, and now they're committed. They have to move forwards now. They've got to make this work. Oh, they're both by the pillars, actually, and they'll both go down. There's no space for them both to hide. Dennis exploding on the B-bomb side. Headshots all over the place. My God, that is smooth. And we talk about quad kills. Dennis gets one to close out the match. What a fitting end to this game of Mirage.
Yeah, we saw a lot of monster plays from Ninjas in Pyjamas on both sides. Again, it was a great start from LDLC. NIP had to play catch up. This is one of 2 big rounds to get right with a 4K. Really fantastic stuff from him in this one. And that's a much needed victory for Ninjas in Pyjamas. Again, LDLC are in a position where they can afford to lose a match here or there, but Ninjas in Pyjamas, the same cannot be said for them.
Yeah, it's definitely a very, very interesting situation to see the match also go like this. LDLC, a team that we expect to be able to beat anybody, and NIP definitely I don't think we really think about them as the most consistent team at the moment, but this was a really strong result despite having a hard time on that first half. They just looked like just so strong in that second half, just pulling out double ops on a T side. Very unusual, but they make it work, and it's good for the 16-10. Very, very fun matchup. Can't wait to see how these styles clash on the next map.
Here are the scores on the doors, the statistics. Get right doing the big damage. Just over Duvek, 16 for 10. We'll see if LDLC can bring it back in the next map.